So the assignment for this week is working with the role-playing game tables that we made in our last lesson. So in our previous tables, we have a many-to-many relationship because our tables were for the character and for the equipment. So many players can carry many pieces of equipment. So there could be a player that has an axe and a canteen. There could be another player that also has an axe and maybe a sword, right? But more than one person can have a sword. So there's a many-to-many relationship there. And we know that many relationships are not good. So you need to resolve that many-to-many relationship by creating a table to act as an intersection entity. Okay, that intersection entity will need to have the character ID and equipment ID columns, right? So I'm going to show you an example from when we learned how to resolve many-to-many relationships. Here's one with TV shows related to people. So a TV show can be watched by many people. Many people can watch a TV show. Right, so many-to-many relationship. We resolved it always the same way. By creating the intersection entity, we put the crow's feet on this side. The bar indicates that the primary keys for this table will be the primary key of this table and the primary key of that table. The foreign keys establishing the relationship, foreign keys always go on the many sides. So inside the intersection entity is where you have to put the foreign keys that point back to the primary keys of each of these tables. So when we say this, on the one we're doing this week, the character ID, so the equipment list might be, you might call that table character equipment or character equipment list or something like that. But they'll have to have a column with the character ID that points back to the character and another column with the equipment ID that points to the piece of equipment that character has. Another good name for that table could be inventory. So it's going to keep track of which characters have which inventory. All right, so you'll have to create both of these as foreign keys pointing back to their respective tables. But then the two of them in combination are also going to be the primary key for the intersection table itself. If that's a little overwhelming, don't let it be. Start and do one piece at a time. Create the table that shows which character has a column for the character ID and a column for the equipment ID. Then make this a foreign key. Make this one a foreign key and make the two together a primary key. Just take it step by step. Okay. You also need to create a non-clustered index on the character names in the character table because people will want to search for their characters by name. So two things you have to turn in. I need the code for these to see how you actually created them. So don't use the GUI so I can see your code. Get those in. It might take you a little while and a little bit of experimentation to do this first part. The second part will probably be fairly easy.